Welcome to another anime discussion presented by the Anime Association. I am Shin the Hero, one of your humble hosts. And before we jump in, do me a favor, please subscribe and like the video. People who watch this video, there's a lot more people watch this video who are subscribed. And subscribing helps us allow a lot. And it's free for you. So there's that. Today we will be discussing Windbreaker episode 4 or Windbreaker episode 17 called Senpai's Teachings. Let me introduce you to the rest of the association. I have my boy, the addict himself, Anime Addict,
What's going on, guys?
and the leader of the Ginyu Force, Ginyu Talk.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I hope you boys are doing very well.
Good.
You
Yes,
guys
sir.
excited about talking about this episode?
Yeah, yeah. Got some
All
loads
right.
of things to say.
Before we jump into that, I do want to. This is probably going to be a little new thing. It depends on how many comments we get on the previous videos. So in the last video we had, episode 3, we got one comment. So like, I'm a try to incorporate the comments. Have this is what we're trying to do. Have a discussion with the community and with each other. We have one guy. I think I'm gonna be tell you straight up. There is gonna be spoilers in this too, but I'm gonna be tell you straight up. I'm gonna jack y'all names up. I'm just gonna do that, and I'm just gonna let you know that. But I'm gonna do my best to try to pronounce it. Put in the comments down below. Tell me if I did a good job. So Destiny Bushes with a Z. That's what I think that my homeboy name is. That's what we're gonna go with. But he commented, he was like, I can't keep going with this show, going nowhere slowly. And that was on our episode 3 discussion. I kind of disagree with him. I think it's going well, but like at the same time, I like slice of life stuff, and that's what this episode, going into Windbreakers episode 4, was way more heavily on. The slow slice of life stuff. That's what I like. How do y'all feel about that comment? Like, it's going back from episode 3, and even now, do y'all agree with what our commenter is saying and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've already had this discussion with Destiny. I think at this point it's just gonna be like a full disagreement between me and him because we kind of gone back and forth and stuff. I think it's really just like a preference type of thing, and he's not necessarily into the slow burn type of thing. So
Okay. Getting you?
Yeah. I agree with that what Addict is saying. I think, when you look at it in hindsight, these are school kids. They ain't got no powers, they ain't got nothing. This is just overall delinquent behavior. They're gonna go through ups and downs. It's not always gonna be fast paced. Some of the stuff is gonna be slow. So, but yeah, it's a preference thing, as Addict says.
All right. Well, let's jump into this. And again, I'm going to warn you one more time. There will be spoilers about this episode. So we can jump in there, giving me your general ideas, general feelings about this episode 4, Senpai's Teaching. Add it, take it away, quick blurb. How do you like this episode?
yeah, I thought the episode was amazing. I think the messages that it has about friendship and camaraderie and relying on your friends. I think it's a beautiful message that you can relate to real life. And we're seeing Sakura's character development, and it's just beautiful to watch.
G?
Yeah, the like I said, double down on what Addict has said. I think I do like. It was really, really good for me because, after everything that happened in the first 3 episodes, this is the episode that I needed to see, to hopefully for the character to then to push on for the rest of the season without having these hindrances that they're and things that they're going through anymore. So this was the time for this episode to come out.
Yeah, I feel y'all. I just to echo y'all sentiments. Like I love slice of life anime. Like as I'm getting older and stuff like that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the hands. I like the action. Don't get me wrong. I like those too. But like as I grow even more into an anime watcher and everything like that, and grow up through the years and everything, I tend to slow down, and slice of life, easygoing anime like this episode portrayed are my bread and butter. I love that type of stuff. And if this don't win no freaking award next year from Crunchyroll, this show like some kind of like bromance award or something like that, it's gonna be a travesty. These people who be watching anime don't know what they're talking about when they be voting. That's all I gotta say. Because this was just a wonderful, heartwarming episode, and you just see the growth, not only through Sakura, but you see the growth through other characters too. Which we'll jump into the plot and characters and stuff like that with his senpai. Like you saw the growth of the headphones guy. Like you see the growth. He was willing to explain, and he did a really good job explaining his like metaphor, quote unquote. And I really dig that. Like even with no, like we had no hands, no real action or anything like that, I was still engaged in the episode and everything like that. How you feeling about the plot and characters, G?
Yeah, it was quite nice. I think with that development, because it wasn't just Sakura who was growing, it was other people around him. His upperclassman, I think is it Kaji, the one with the headphones itself. When you get towards the around the end of the episode and stuff, what I did see was initially the whole process of how he took Sakura up to the top of the roof, and he told
Yeah,
him like about sharing is it's better outside, and sitting down and everything. You can't it got a full circle moment where his senpai, his upperclassman, you know did the exact same thing, which kind of
yeah,
it which indicated that he had learnt it from his upperclassman, and he's now passed it on to Sakura, that same process itself. So it was a definite good moment, because and a good episode in general because of that growth, and that's what I really liked about the episode, the growth itself.
addict.
Yeah, I actually also wanted to point out that scene because for a while I was kind of wondering, what Kaji, like where he was going with this. I was a little bit confused, and then it got to the point where they showed that scene with his upperclassman, and how basically he had the exact same discussion with him, and it was basically just like a teaching moment, and then like you apply it. So he basically learned it and then applied it to Sakura.
Yeah, yeah. How are we feeling about? I personally feel like Sakura, I know he has that loner type vibe, but he had to had someone in his corner some time ago when he was growing. I feel like because I know I want to go back on like it's saying this is a trope or whatever, which it kind of is, but he had to have somebody who believed in him, because there had to been like a real good reason, not just because of his hair and his eye color, why people like dog him and everything like that. I feel like he had to have somebody in his corner, and something happened, whether that person died, they moved away, or they started to push him away to make him feel so alone like he is. Because like what we're basically doing, we're trying to reform this man basically and make him kind of love again, quote unquote. I guess that's the word. How y'all feeling about that, addict?
Yeah, I sort of feel like maybe he was betrayed in the past, and now he's like afraid to rely on other people, and that's why he's like basically isolating himself from everyone because he doesn't. It's like it's all new to him. He doesn't know how to rely on them, but they're here for him, and so they're trying to let him know like you can rely on us when you need to.
G, how you feel about it?
Yeah, I think the best analogy that I could probably give is, Sakura feels like a rescue dog who had been abused basically, and now taken in by someone else. So you tend to, there's still that feeling of what had happened in the past, but so you're always apprehensive about it, but you keep sticking your hand out saying, hey, 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 and then wanting them to eventually come towards you. And I think that's what it kind of felt like itself. I know they used an analogy of a cat somewhere in the episode,
Yeah, they did.
but I
They
think
did.
that's how I saw it as well. That he feels like a rescue dog, that's just struggling to adapt to the kindness that they're experienced from people.
All right. Well, let's jump into, I guess, negatives of the episode. Was there anything y'all didn't like about the episode? Anything you're just like, I don't know about that, man. Add it.
I thought the episode was great. I haven't really found anything about Windbreaker that I don't like. I feel like it's a really good anime, and it's also starting to prove itself as more than just a fighting anime. It's starting to prove itself as um, like a good slice of life anime with character development, character growth, and it's like you were saying earlier, it's not just Sakura; it's all the characters in the show.
Okay. Do you think episode 4 is the best episode so far? Season 2?
Honestly, yeah, I was thinking that yesterday after I watched it. I was like, that might be the best episode of the season.
Okay. G, anything you
Um,
dislike about the episode, or are you feeling like how Addict's feeling right now?
no, I think it was a near perfect episode because with all the hands that had been thrown in the first 3 episodes and how the characters mindset continued to be in those 3 episodes, this is a perfect episode because this is what I wanted this episode that helps them hopefully eventually overcome what they're feeling or starts the track of being what I want, what his classmates want him to be. So this was a near perfect episode because it what I wanted. If I did have to have a small little gripe, I'll probably say I didn't get enough of my boy Suo because that's just my guy. I just love him so much, man. He's just that guy. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with the episode. It was near perfect.
It makes sense that Headphone Guy was the guy who talked to him about everything, and he was the guy to go Sakura to go to. But I think if we didn't have him, Suo would have been the dude who would have said something there because he seems like that. I will say this, man. It feels weird listening to this in Japanese because I watched it in dub, and as I'm reading, I'm hearing the dub voices as I'm reading, and so it feels weird. It does feel weird, but what was your favorite part of the episode? G.
My favorite part
Oh,
was when
go ahead, Addy.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
My favorite part was the girl from season 1 coming back because I was waiting to see her ever since season 1, and she's finally back.
All right, G. She did
Um,
just kind of barge into my man's house like that,
Yeah.
man. I mean,
mm, um, oh, yeah, I think it was just. I think my favorite bit was. I think it's just still the dynamic between Kanji and Sakura, like inadvertently it was just that feeling of that even that Kanji didn't even know that he was growing while he was helping.
mm,
That was a great feeling because subconsciously he just thought, oh, I'm just telling you all of this stuff, this and this, but he ultimately grew as well, and which kind of just emphasized the point that we all grow in different ways. Sometimes people that say that don't believe they're a leader, because they see some type of, oh, you need to be a leader is defined by this and this and that.
yeah.
You kind of eventually see that leaders take different types of forms, and he grew as a leader, and that's what I took away from that's probably the best part about the episode for me.
My favorite part is when Omame just showed up and he was clapping and he was crying and everything. And then my man just slugged him in the face. And then his second command was like, yeah, you deserve that, man. He should have kicked you too, man. I was laughing. I was rolling. Umeme is precious. He needs to be protected. And if he does not win best boy, I'm gonna be highly upset. Anyway, but like he's my favorite character. That's my dude. I love that man. And I just like the fact that he just showed up during that tense moment and everything like that. Cause like they was calling for it. I was like, well, we're gonna have some kind of comedy beat right here and there. Another part I did like, I like the analogy when he bought the coffee, because like he was trying to think and everything like that. When he bought the coffee and ripped the label off and put the label and said green tea, and then he was like, "What is this?" And he was like, green tea." because he was like, man, this is a trick question. And then he was like, yeah. And then it was like, no matter how many times I write on here saying this green tea, it will always contain coffee. And I was like, hey, man, this man is wise. I like this, man. I like this. I like this. Like, that was one. I like those kind of like, he sounded like an old Southern black man. That's what I was gonna go with. That's what we're gonna keep it at. So let's jump into the predictions of the next episode, because we didn't get too many. We didn't get no revolution from like episode 3, especially at the end of episode 3. That's end stinger. We didn't get nothing in that. So how are we feeling about the remainder or the next episode of stuff? Like, we're getting another slice of life episode at it, or are we gonna be going into like the next arc? I know none of us read the manga, so how are we feeling about episode 5 going into this?
Yeah, I think next week's episode is going to be like a mix of the two. And then after that, we're going to start to see the development of the other gang and start to see some more of the upper classmen from the trailers and stuff, because we haven't really met any of them yet.
Yeah. G, how you feeling?
Yeah, echo the same thing as that. I think we'll probably get that first half or of the episode where we're hopefully, hoping that we start to see that shift in Sakura's mind, and to indicate that growth that we're all hoping to see in the next episode. But then you know how anime works. Something's gonna happen. Some delinquent behavior is going to cause a chain reaction of leading us into hopefully finding out what Frank is about, and and all of that stuff. But I think before I throw it back to you, Shin, is that when I saw the episode last week, and I saw, because I had missed the post credit and everything, and I saw Frank and his tattoos, the first thing when I was like, how old is this man beefing with kids? Like,
I mean, Sakaru's Japanese voice actor sound like he 82, man. Like, his voice is like deep and crisp, man. And he's playing a teenager, so like, I don't know, man. But like that, yeah, old buddy, man. Like he look like he 87, man. So like, I feel you, man. Like I do feel. I was like, man, why is he beefing with kids? He an adult. He need to be doing something else, like paying taxes or something, man. Come on, man. Like we don't got time for that. But I do feel both of y'all sentiments. I do agree with Addict too. Like, I do feel like we might get like a mix of the next. Like, we might get a little bit of action. It's probably gonna be towards the end, and then we're probably going to get more slice of life stuff. But it's probably gonna be set up. I think we're gonna get introduced to more of the guy girl person. I think we're probably gonna get introduced, because like, I harken back to the opening, and like I said, anime openings tell you a lot. And even though like they're not supposed to, but like do tell you a lot. And like, in part of the opening, there's parts in the opening where we see Sakura, like he's putting his hand out and everything, like and then people kind of have their backs to him. So like, I'm assuming something happens where he kind of loses the trust. Either he loses trust in them, or they lose trust in him. Something happens where they get pushed away. His friends gets pushed away, and then we work towards it's your run in the mill anime plot, slice of life or drama plot, like in this, and something happens where I guess he gets closer to his friends, because towards the end of the opening and everything like that, they kind of come back together. And especially in the beginning, because like, there's one of those things, like even in the first season, like how how he's putting on the jacket and he's by himself, and then towards the end of the opening, he's putting on the jacket, you see the back, and it's everybody's putting on the jacket and everything like that. It does another thing where like he's got water in his hand, as like he's gonna wash his face and everything like that. And then towards the end of the opening, he's about to do it again, and it's a quick like green like plane or something like that, and then he throws the water on his face. It's like a quick and you miss it. So I think that might be a thing, some kind of signifying or something like that. But I do feel like we probably going to start getting I because she whoever, the one of the four king people, they're heavily in the opening. So I think this particular season is going to be more on them and them as a person, versus anybody else, because they're heavily in that opening and everything like that. So like I feel like we're probably is going to start gearing up towards that, because I think it's what 12 episodes for this season, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and we're about somewhat halfway mark now, with after episode
No, I
4.
think
So
yeah.
yeah, so like that's my piece. But you tell us down below in the comments what your piece is on episode 4 and everything like that. If you liked it, if you even liked our discussion and all that jazz. And if you want your comment read, go ahead and drop a comment down below, and we will read it in the next episode, our next episode discussion. I have been Shin. That's Addict. That's G. And we are the Anime Association. We out.